Hello everyone and welcome back to another Babbling Irons video and another link. And this time is Ian Maatsen of Chelsea. He was on loan at Burnley last season, was absolutely brilliant in the championship for them. And it looks like we could be going after him after this tweet from Jacob Steinberg came out saying that we are interested in and looking in a deal for the Chelsea left back. And we're going to try and get him with a loan with an option to buy. And yeah, he's really impressed in Pochettino during pre-season and Pochettino likes him, but an exit isn't being ruled out this month. And that's probably because Chelsea have four left backs right now. I think Lewis Hall's about to go on loan to Crystal Palace, but then they also have Chilwell and Cucurella and obviously Maatsen himself. So, yeah, I'm surprised he didn't maybe go back to Burnley just because of how good he was in the Championship for them last season. It would be an interesting move. I think this is a move we'd go for if Cresswell moved on to Wolves. That situation's still up in the air at the moment, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But Ian Maatsen, a very, very good player, still very young. And it's the type of signing we could absolutely get behind on the Babbling Irons channel, as is often the case with the younger, also homegrown talents. And yeah, just as a kind of overall profiling, if you're not really too familiar with him, his birth country was Netherlands, but he is English. He passes as kind of a homegrown talent. He's quite small, so he's 5'6" roughly. If you kind of convert that there, left-footed, of course, and yeah, still only 21 years old. And he's turning 22 next March, so still very young. And you can kind of see his heat map from last season, playing for Burnley. Up and down that left-hand side, isolating that kind of middle third of the pitch. And yeah, just a very, very good player with a bundle of potential. And there's a reason why Pochettino likes him, is because the talent is definitely there. And it would be really interesting to see if we could get this deal over the line, because it's probably not a player he wants to get rid of. I think he'd probably look to maybe getting rid of someone like Cucurella, if it meant getting rid of one of the left backs that they have. But he's just come in for a big fee last season, so maybe they're going to hang on to him this season and see if he can perform. But this could be the perfect time to strike, to get Ian Maatsen. So yeah, I mean, for me, it's an interesting deal. We're going to break down the stats of how he kind of compared last season to other championship players. And, it's really interesting some of the positive ones that have come out of it and the type of player he is, because he would be an excellent player for us, adding much more pace and dynamism to that left-hand side that we've often lacked. I can't really remember the last time we had it. Maybe when Masuaku played left back, but we know that he was, very weak defensively and very much attack-minded and almost like a left winger, to be honest. He wasn't that great at defending, other than that, ironically, that Chelsea performance, the team we might be getting Maatsen from. So, yeah, for me, again, Maatsen, a very, very young player. Of course, a raw talent, but absolutely showed his talent in the Championship last season for Burnley. So it's definitely a move we should be getting behind, especially as we have Emerson at left back right now. So Maatsen coming in, kind of being the understudy, getting minutes where he can, with the cup matches, Europa League. It could be a really, really good move for us. And, as we kind of look at the stats from last season, he's not just about defending, he's also good at attacking. And you can kind of see his goals and assists numbers here and where he ranked. So ninth for both categories, getting 4 goals and 5 assists last season. Very, very good for a fullback. Yeah, I mean, look at the XG of goals. He was 1.66. He got 4 goals. But what interests me more is the assists. He had 4.36 expected assists and got 5. So he's pretty much on par, slightly above where he should be, which is great. And to get that many expected assists, it means he's creating chances, and it means he's doing his job in the other third of the pitch, other than defensively. So yeah, it would be a really interesting move, this one. And I can really see why Pochettino likes him, and he's impressed during pre-season. I will be surprised if we can get him. I don't know if maybe a loan with an option to buy is a bit, optimistic. I don't think Poch will want him to go permanently if available. I think we might be able to get him on loan if we need to towards the end of the window if Cresswell goes, but that's not really what we want. We don't want to be developing a Chelsea player and then sending him back in a year's time. We need to make sure we kind of stamp our ground now while they have these left back options. Lewis Hall, Cucurella, Chilwell, 3 talented players, but Maatsen is definitely one that could blossom out of those 4. And we've seen Chilwell's developed and he's more of a wing back. Depends how Pochettino wants to play. Cucurella, again, suspect defensively. Lewis Hall, another attack-minded fullback. So Yeah, I mean, Maatsen has the fundamentals there to develop into a really talented player. I mean, he already is a talented player, but one that is, consistently performing in the Premier League. That's maybe the only question mark at the moment. He hasn't stepped up to that level, which is why it's important that he'd be coming in as kind of the understudy to Emerson and learning and developing alongside that. And, at a club like West Ham, let's be honest, it's a good move for him, especially on a loan with an option to buy, because it gives us a year to assess him, gives us a year to kind of integrate him into the squad, get him used to playing for West Ham in the Premier League and Europa League campaign. And then maybe at the end of the season, we could, get a really good deal out of it. And Chelsea might miss the boat on it. And we've seen them, selling players before, and their transfer dealings aren't great. They've got a history of selling some really talented players, just because of how many they've develop. That is one thing you can say about Chelsea. They do develop some excellent talent, but B, they let a lot of it go. And I'm pretty sure a lot of their fans are kind of annoyed by that. Well, most of them, maybe a lot of them like the kind of expensive signings at the time, but they don't work out. And it's actually these younger talents coming through that turn out to be, the hidden gems. And as we kind of look a little bit more at his statistics from last season, you can see here passes. He ranked second for passes for average per 90. I mean, only, but Connor Roberts, his counterpart at the top there for Burnley. So yes, Burnley played in a very possession-based team, which obviously inflates these numbers. But we like to see this. We like to see that he's making a lot of passes, getting involved in the game. 84% accuracy, which is very good for a fullback, and that just shows to me that he is trying to make things happen in the final third when he gets there, and he's not scared to go forwards. Defensively, again, it's something that we'll need to develop more, just because Burnley were a more attack-minded team. We're the complete opposite of that in the Premier League, really, to how Burnley played in the Championship. So it'll be interesting to see if Vincent Kompany can kind of maintain that. But yeah, Maatsen, for him, I'm surprised he's not at Burnley right now. I'm really surprised that he hasn't gone back there. But obviously, the talent, I think, is bigger. And maybe West Ham is the good move for him. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this, because he's still 21 years old. Moyes typically doesn't like the small fullbacks. We saw it with Rico Henry a couple of seasons ago when we were targeting him. He ruled that signing out because he was too small. So is Maatsen going to be any different at 5'6"? I don't know. But let's take a look at some more stats. Another kind of attacking stat, which you can kind of see here, progressive runs. Ranked 15th, which is pretty good. Longello actually in 14th there. But yeah, average per 90 of 2.6, an average progression of 111, which is the top of that list right there. So he's a progressive player. He's going to carry the ball, which is what we need from a left back, is what Aaron Cresswell for the last few years hasn't really been able to do. You'll see him bring the ball forwards from deep areas, but a lot of the time it was kind of hopeless crosses into the box. So I'm hoping Maatsen is going to, start to develop a little bit more, and, he's going to offer us not only more attacking input, and, we're allowed to kind of overlap a little bit more. We've seen it with Emerson more so than Cresswell, actually. Emerson's actually been very good at it going forwards, and defensively, he's been a little bit switched off at times, and looks maybe a little bit uninterested in doing the defensive work, but I think he's improved massively under Moyes. That is one thing I will say. I think his defensive performances were really good towards the end of the season. I mean, the Conference League final was kind of a prime example of what he can do from left back. So I think that would be a great role for Maatsen to come in and kind of learn from Emerson, and understand how he's had to improve defensively since joining West Ham. And, that's going to, only escalate his career as a player. So I think obviously Maatsen is more of an attack-minded fullback, which we want to see. We have Kufau on the other side currently, or Tilo Kehrer, whoever it will be, much more defensive. And, we look at West Ham as a whole in the last couple of seasons. A lot of the times we will go down that left-hand side, and it will be Ben Rama picking up the ball, or Fornals, and Bowen's often the one that's kind of pushing on. And yeah, we kind of try and infiltrate the left-hand side. Whether that's going to change now Declan Rice is gone, because he often operated on the left side, time will tell. But Maatsen definitely offers us something we don't have from left back right now, especially from Aaron Cresswell, less so from Emerson. But yeah, I think it's a really exciting talent, only 21 years of age. So there's room for progression. That's the key here. It's not like we're buying a ready-made fullback that's going to be in the peak of his career. We're buying for the future. We're buying to develop, which is the Tim Steidten model, the Red Bull model that Moyes love to allude to. So Yeah, I think defensively, he will have to improve a little bit. Just generally being in a Moyes team, we're going to have to defend a lot more than he did in the Championship with Burnley under Vincent Company. So yeah, I think Pochettino, really liking him is a great sign. His performances last season in the Championship, another one to kind of suggest that he probably is ready for this Premier League, step up. Just 21 years old, that doesn't matter. If you're if you're good enough, you will play. It doesn't matter how old you are. So, yeah, this would be a really interesting move. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I would absolutely be behind it. A loan with an option to buy sounds like a really, really good deal. I mean, he doesn't actually have that long left on his contract. I think it might be 1 year, maybe two max. So it's interesting because maybe he's not signing the contract and we might be able to get him for a cheaper fee next summer than maybe anticipated. But yeah, I don't think it would take too much to get this over the line. Maybe 15 to 20 million would be an estimation. But again, that Chelsea might quote us a bigger figure than that. But I think a loan with an option to buy would be the best move for both parties in this situation. So interesting one to keep an eye on, and we'll see if it develops any further over the next few days. And we'll keep an eye on the Aaron Cresswell situation as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments about this potential move. Do you like it? Would you rather go and maybe buy a more ready-made Premier League proven player, as Moyes likes to get or is trying to get? Let me know. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel as always, and until next time, come on you irons.